Good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Freedom Beyond Friday, Megan Mitchell here again. And I've been a little absent. I've been under the weather, both physically and somewhat heavy at heart with the current state of the world and the current state here in the United States. We don't have to go into that. Everyone knows that there's a lot of strife and disagreement on many sides, but I'm reminded always that nature is my channel change when it comes to whatever mood I'm in or whatever's going on that's distracting me. And I've told you before that I love my plants, that I've had a hard time keeping them watered. We've had a drought. It's been about a month and a half since we've had a really good rain here in the Midwest, and I've struggled to keep them watered. I was actually trying to water the other evening, and I was on a phone call with someone discussing actually the current situations going on around the world, and it was a heavy conversation. My mind was very distracted from watering my plants. The next morning when I got up, I looked down the hill and there was a pretty large puddle. First I thought, oh, maybe it rained, and then I realized I had left the hose on all night. Originally I was obviously annoyed with myself, and I realized that that was probably going to create a pretty sizable water bill. But pretty quickly my perspective and my mood shifted. I've told you before how important nature is to me. I don't know if I've mentioned my absolute passion for birds. When I was a young girl, when I was a child, I used to fly in my dreams. Sounds kind of silly. No, I didn't flap my arms, but I just was it was a common theme. Birds have always been very important to me. I guess I could say they're my spirit animal. And when I look at that puddle, immediately my perspective shifted from the mistake that I had made and the consequences of that to seeing a large flock of birds just absolutely enjoying themselves in this large puddle. And what struck me is that these were birds from all different species. They were not the same bird. I don't usually see birds just hanging out together. There were bluebirds, robins, wrens, sparrows. They were all enjoying this water. And that completely shifted my perspective from being upset that I was going to have a water bill to seeing the blessing that these birds all had a need. They were all missing water. Finding water was hard. So they had come together in unity. They weren't fighting. They weren't trying to shoo anyone off or make anyone else fly away. They were just enjoying it together. And this made me think about all of the fighting and the lack of unity around the world and even within the United States. And I was thinking about how we need to be like the birds. Don't wait for a crisis. They were having a crisis of water, a water shortage. Don't wait for a crisis to come together. We all have needs all around the world, and that's a common thread in humanity. It's also a common thread that, if we look back to God, that all things work together for good. So my mistake was a positive. This is exactly what we see in our company with Ash that we're building. It's a company of unity, no matter where you are in the world. Ash is bringing us all together. doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter where you're from. That's the theme, that we all have needs and we're all coming together for a shared common goal of helping humanity. So I hope that's uplifting. During the same time, I saw a little bird that was caught in I have a decorative cage on my porch, and I saw a little bird that was caught in a cat that was about to get it. And I came up and, you know, I think it's interesting that we don't always know that we are caged, whether that is our mind, whether that is a job, whatever that is. This little bird got in there and couldn't get out, and I was trying to get it out, and it saw me as a threat, which I think the lesson is that sometimes we don't always know that something that looks like a threat might just be saving us. So hopefully you can change your perspective and realize that we are all coming together in this beautiful company with Ash, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you look like. We have a common goal. We're going to receive, and we're also called to give. So I hope that cheers you up. Have a blessed day and be more like the birds.